What's poppin', y'all? It looks like Travis Scott is causing havoc and mayhem in Monaco. Like, this guy just thinks the GP is all about him. The Grand Prix, that is, not the, general population in what is prison. Travis Scott's not going there anytime soon. I hope to God not. I expect to see him live more times in the future. But this all started with Iggy Azalea telling a story, and then it ramps up.
You know, something happened on this boat that impressed all the men on the boat and
That you did?
grossed out all the women.
What?
No, that somebody else did.
What happened?
So there was this like other celebrity who's famous
Yeah.
who decided to like come around the yacht with his friends and like ride jet skis and do like donuts and stuff like around the boat. Like, and they were like, yeah, we're cool. Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, man. It's crazy, yeah. Woo. Right? So cool. And I was like, yuck. You know who I don't want to ever suck? That guy. Disgusting.
Oh,
not you.
Iggy, why'd you have to?
So this is Iggy Azalea. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how she's in these Monaco circles. We've got goofy people on the internet talking about like, well, she's white. She's just like an escort there. And like, are you guys goofy? Are you dumb? Like, there's plenty of escorts in that area. They're not public. They're not at these events. And like, there are a lot of other celebrities that had more successful music careers than Iggy that are not there. She's actually there for business. What business? I don't know. That's the real question. But this story is allegedly about Travis Scott, which is Travis Scott doing Travis Scott shenanigans, right? But Travis Scott was feeling himself so much. He said, man, get this guy out of my set, because there's this guy, John Summit. So if you guys are unfamiliar, this guy, John Summit, he is a DJ that blew up on TikTok. I think he used to be like an accountant or something. And he got crazy motion. Like, this guy has he has all the chicks on lock and the gay dudes. So if you want either of those, you go to one of his sets. And he had a set in Monaco. And he said, Monaco, that was insane last night. Last night was out of my control. My show got shut down due to another artist showing up late and forcing his way onto the stage. And as you can see in the background here on this TikTok that somebody's recording, Travis Scott is the guy that was hopping on. That was coming into the booth. He says, love you all that were there to dance and have a good time. Man, Travis Scott got up in there and said, man, get the hell out of here. Get this trash music off the set. I don't think the guy's music is trash. I actually heard this remix to a song that he did. I think it was a Britney song. Britney Spears song. I think it was the I Wanna Go remix. I mess with that one. The other stuff, I don't really know too much of what he does, but that song, I mess with it. I don't even know how I encountered this. And this turned into lies by a Travis Scott hater that would get debunked. And this guy would say, there was this massive flop of a club in Vegas a while back called Chaos. They spent more money than God on the build out, like $700 million, and then on stealing away everywhere else's big name DJs and acts. They had Cardi B, Skrillex, Marshmello, J Balvin, and a bunch of other big names. For the grand opening, they had scheduled Skrillex to DJ before Travis Scott. Scott was scheduled to go on at 1:30 a.m. Around 4 a.m., when he still hadn't shown up, and Skrillex had finally gotten tired of playing, think he spun for like 6 hours, the club emptied out. Scott finally showed up around 5 a.m., 4 hours late, and almost fought club management who tried to tell him to get lost. He demanded and fought to go on and played for about 200 people. Now, these clubs in Vegas are gigantic. So for some people that are like, yo, 200 people in a club, that's a decent amount. No, these clubs in Vegas hold thousands. One of the craziest disasters I've ever seen. Talk about a cursed grand opening. Place closed like 6 months later. This guy's a great artist, but sucks as a person. Listen, we know that Travis Scott, complete a-hole. We're not trying to defend him in that regard at all. But somebody comes in, and keep in mind, these people, this started like two factions. Rap fans aren't really fighting about it, but these DJ, like trance, whatever. Dude, I know I'm getting this stuff wrong, but like house, EDM, all that electronics, the DJ scene, they're hating on Travis Scott right now. Justifiably so. But this guy got to lying, and somebody that was there had to pull his card and said, well, this was definitely exaggerated by a lot. Club was still packed for Travis Scott, and he definitely played at 3 a.m., not 5 a.m. This is as expected. 3 a.m. is about the time they go on. Even when like the highlight DJ, like let's say Skrillex is the main DJ for Omnia or something like that, he won't come on until about 3 a.m. if the club closes at like 5, yeah, like 2 a.m. Sometimes they don't come until 3 a.m. And then he says, rappers are always late though. I was there for the opener. And this guy says, false. I was standing at a table in front of the stage in the empty club when he was rapping at 5 in the morning. And this guy says, you want to bet he started at 3 a.m.? I have verified proof. Now he did come out late, but he was out at 3 a.m. And this guy posts, he gets the Carfax from his own Snapchat of the exact date, April 6, 2019. At 3:13 a.m., you've got Travis Scott, mic in hand, performing. So this Travis hater got caught in 4K by another person. And then what does he do after? After he tried to double down on it and someone says, damn, caught him. He says, also, look at the video. It was completely slammed. So he's saying, you said it was about 200 people, but I'm watching the video on my Snapchat story and I was there and it was packed. He said the club was 2 sections. He performed on the stage outside. It was slammed, then rotated back to the inside section when he was pretty much done. And he was done before 4 a.m. too. So this guy's lying is behind off. Said he didn't get on until 5 a.m. and he pushed his way out. And this guy's like, what are you talking about? Travis was out before 4 a.m. He's like, yeah, we were on the inside part under the overhang. It was nowhere near slammed like it was earlier on. So now, first we get this guy completely capping and then trying to pull the guy's card. The guy lays the card out on the table after this guy's terrible bluff. And then now he's saying like, nah, they were charging insane covers at the door and it was wall to wall inside. And then the funny thing is, this guy also defends him too and says like, yeah, EDM DJs are greater than rappers. They care more, always on time, and performance-wise just as good. Now, Travis Scott, I give Travis Scott a little bit of leeway because I'm not booking him. I am nothing but a spectator, and I've been blessed to spectate Travis Scott shows multiple times. Travis Scott is an incredible performer. This guy brings the energy. So if you're a spectator in the crowd, unless you're like huge fans of this John Summit guy, you're like, yo, get Travis on here because Travis is going to go maniacal. And when have you ever heard of fans talking about like, man, that Travis Scott performance sucked. Man, Travis just came in and he phoned it in. Man, he didn't even care. It doesn't matter what size of the venue it is. Travis Scott is going to come in and he's going to rage. And that's why fans of Travis Scott seem to be like defending him. Now, this is a complete like D-bag move for sure. And I don't even think it's as bad as other things that Travis Scott has done. Like, for example, Travis Scott ghosting T-Pain after having him get these speakers that cost a ton of money per day because Travis Scott's always blasting speakers. He wants the loudest speakers possible, and then he wants to blow out the loudest speakers possible. It's insanity.
Let's get together. 18th, the 14th through the 18th. Yep, you sure did hear me. Absolutely. And then, 14th came. He never showed up. So I was like, you know what? Me being the guy that I am, he didn't show up not because he didn't want to show up. He showed up. He didn't show up because he sleep. Obviously, the guy hasn't had enough sleep. So it's the 14th, the first day. No big deal. He sleep. He needs to sleep. Let the man sleep. 15th come. He didn't show up. He didn't come back. Now, mind you, this was on the 10th that he had me order these new speakers that I got to pay for daily on my budget out of my pocket because, you know, them speakers wasn't loud enough for him to work with in the studio. So I had to order those speakers and I got to pay a daily rate on them speakers. And it's like $540 a day a piece for each speaker to be, because they need to be loud enough for him to work with. So, you know, that's the 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14. He didn't show up. 15, he didn't show up. That's fine. 16, maybe he forgot. Can somebody call him? Because it's 8 o'clock and he said he usually starts working at 8 p.m. Can somebody hit him up to make sure? Boop, 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 boop. You know what I'm talking about? Just real quick. He might have forgot. Some things can be forgotten. 16th, maybe hit him up. Check him out. Check him out. Just check on him. See if he, you know, see if he knew. I was like, check on him. It's the 16th. Maybe he forgot. Cool. I get it. Nobody got in contact with him. Couldn't find him. Then the 17th, I was like, okay, maybe he's one of them guys like me. Like when I set sessions for 4 days, I need around for the first 2 days. 17 comes around, nothing.
And then also there's a situation where Travis Scott was breaking laptops, kicking people off of stages, doing all this other stuff. So yeah, behind the scenes, the dude's a complete a-hole. However, and also when it comes to like taking music, like for example, that Pick Up the Phone song with him, Quavo, and Young Thug, that thing was a whole mess. But none of that has anything to do with us as spectators. And that's why there's no way you can come out and say like, man, I wish John Summit would have played a little bit longer. Yeah, maybe some people felt like that. But really, if Travis Scott was the headliner of the event, he comes in there, he tells that little white boy, he's like, man, get the hell up out of here. You got to pick up your game a little bit. And he's right. Like, whose music has traveled for, and I don't mean he's right in disrespecting that guy like that. But when we're talking about whose music has traveled further, yeah, it's Travis Scott, not this John Summit guy. He's got his little niche, and the niche is huge. Like, he's got his demographic, let's call it that. But Travis Scott has every demographic. And Travis Scott is just a maniac. Like, the guy makes great music, but don't expect to have a good time interacting with him. And that's why I stay as the spectator. Like, I'll pull up to a Travis Scott show. I know I'm going to get a good performance. And I'd rather he be an a-hole behind the scenes and all that than to ever disrespect his fans by giving them a trash performance. Because some people are great behind the scenes, and managers and bookers and all that. They're like, yeah, this person's great to work with, but they suck. They show up on time. Their performance sucks. And the fans are like, yo, this is whack. Versus a Travis Scott. I don't care what headache he gives those people. He shows up. He gives a great performance. He delivers on the product. And people keep coming back. And that's why he's got one of the biggest live shows, one of the biggest and best live show touring artists of our generation. Now, for this next album, though, there is no hype for that. And I say this as somebody that's been excited for every single thing Travis Scott has put out since Days Before Rodeo. There wasn't much hype for me when it came to Days Before Rodeo, but when I listened to Days Before Rodeo, I was like, whoa, okay, yeah, there's hype for everything that came after that, except Huncho Jack Huncho. I will still stand by that thing being a stink bomb, but I haven't listened to it in 7 years, so maybe I do need to go back to it. And I know there are some of you Huncho Jack Huncho lovers that are going to come in the comments, and I'm actually going to, if you are a Huncho Jack Huncho lover, please come in the comments and press me and be like, no, you have to listen to it again. I listened to it like 4 or 5 times, but keep in mind, this was years ago. So maybe I revisit it and I'm like, yo, you know what, guys? That thing wasn't as much of a stink bomb as I thought. And I am being a little bit hyperbolic by calling it a stink bomb. I just think that it was largely overrated and it was too many tracks. Like, it should have been an EP as opposed to a full-on project. And this was the same era when people were just doing joint projects all the time. You guys remember did French Montana do a joint project with Lil Durk? There were joint projects that none of us ever asked for that were dropping at around that time. It was a joint project with somebody. But yeah, I'm deviating far too much off topic. So I'm going to bring this to a close here. So let me know in the comments, Huncho Jack Huncho lovers. Do we got any John Summit fans here? That's the real question. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see you on the next one.